What's good, African family? Welcome back to the African Wahala. What's up to my brother? One True Emperor is joining me in the building today, and we're going to be
Yo,
having
yo,
a
yo.
yes, sir, man, bro. There's quite a lot to talk about, and we're just here to give our opinions. A lot of people are definitely going to disagree, especially because today is going to be a little bit much more critical than usual. Although on the African Wahala, we always criticize. So, South Africa and Nigeria, they are currently going back and forth on social media. The entire debacle, I don't know where it started from. It probably started years ago. We've heard many times about South African xenophobia, but recently there was this beautiful young lady whom I'm going to put on the screen, Chidima Adechina. This lady was supposed to be a South African um, beauty pageant winner, but she was bullied out of the competition by South Africans and was replaced by a European lady that became Miss South Africa. So this happened recently, and South Africans and Nigerians, for some reason, they've been going back and forth on social media. We have some extremely ridiculous cases, like this tweet here. Basically, Nigerians on social media advising their fellow Nigerians to book rides on Bolt. Bolt is like Uber, one of those transportation companies. It works in Nigeria, in South Africa, in many other African countries. And a way that the Nigerians and the South Africans are trolling themselves is to book multiple rides on these ride sharing application, and then once the driver gets to the location to pick up the customer, they cancel. So it's causing a lot of frustration on the Bolt drivers, and it's also exposing some weaknesses within the Bolt application. So this is an opportunity for Bolt to tighten up their application and make it more useful. But most importantly, the fact that these South Africans and Nigerians, and I'm not sure where it began. Let me show you another example. This is some other photos from some South Africans advising them, having a conversation on the Bolt app with a driver. Someone in South Africa books a Bolt ride in Lagos. I don't even know how that works. How come Bolt allows customers to book rides in international spaces?
Hey, you know, before you continue, let me jump in. First of all, this is directly to the owners of boats and to the boat company as a whole. Shame on you guys.
Hmm.
You guys have shown the whole world that you guys are a useless organization.
Hmm.
How can this happen in using your own app? To the African Wala, you are in Canada. I'm in America. I cannot use Uber Eats or DoorDash to place an order in Canada. I cannot use Uber or Lyft in DoorDash or in America to try and deliver food or to do anything in Canada.
Hmm.
This is a shame on both. To be honest with you, if Bolt is a serious company, if Bolt is a serious, a serious, company, a lot of people need to be fired. The
Yep.
CEO, the CEO of that company needs to come out and make a statement because this is ridiculous. And shame on the 4%ers, and shame on Nigeria for wasting people's time and resources. Have people forgotten that a lot of men and women feed their family through this boat app? Why are we playing with people's jobs? Why are we playing with people's livelihood? This is sad as Africans. We are meant to come together and develop in a Pan Africanism way. Like as the 4%ers so jobless that they woke up one morning to actually do what they are doing, And shame on Nigerians for even responding with what is going on in our country. African will take it from here, and our
So
one.
it looks like the bro. Each time you made a reference to the 4%ers, it'll be good if you can explain what that means because some people might not understand what it means. I understand what you mean though, but can you explain what you mean by 4%ers?
4%ers are black xenophobic South Africans that don't even own majority of their land. Black South Africans own 4% of the land in South Africa. The white people and the Chinese people and the descendants of Indians have taken away all their lands. So so they only own 4%, and that's why I call them 4%ers. These
Ridiculous.
4%ers have a lot more to worry about. Algerians, emphasis on the word hell, Algerians have a lot of things to worry about.
Factual.
So that's why what is going on is such a shame. Is the average black South African is okay with a white man ruling over them. That is why I'm not surprised at what they did to Chidima. But guess what, African Wala? Chidima has never identified as Nigerian. She's a woman born in South Africa. She has never identified as Nigerian. She has never made reference to Nigeria. All she has are two Nigerian names. But yet, African Wala, these people gave a woman, Miss South Africa, a woman that looks like a Latina with a French name, given birth by white European parents. Like guy. Am I the only one that saw it? Please, can
Bro,
you put up? No,
let
hold on,
me
please, can you put up the picture of the woman that won Miss South Africa? This woman looks like a Latina. She be like Kokoye people. So a 4%er looks at a Latina looking woman and say that she's more South African or more African than somebody that has the same skin color as them. And after that debacle, they decided to wake up one morning and start ordering boats in Nigeria. The fact that the boat app is so sloppy for that to happen is such
yeah.
a shame.
So this is what the lady looks like. The lady eventually knocked off Miss
Please,
Chidima.
can you find a better picture? A picture that's just her face. Because I want people watching us to understand where I'm coming from. Because I just don't want to say something and people don't get where I'm coming from. I want you to let us see a picture of her face because that woman looks like a Latina. She's a Latina in my eyes. I'm sorry, that's no African woman. Anybody can disagree. That is no African woman. And the pandering to Africans need to stop for real. It's getting too much. All these foreigners will be using the name of Africa only when it benefits them. But when it's time for them to go through the struggle as an African, they are nowhere to be found. Look at that. Look at the first. Just type in. This is not. You see, look at the one that won in 2014. Look, look at the one that won in 2014. Please, just type Miss South Africa 2004. She will come up. She will come up. These 4%ers are sad. Nelson Mandela, honestly, Nelson Mandela wasted 27 years in prison. Honestly, even him himself is a joke. Nelson Mandela became president and he could not give back his people their land back. Guy, look at her face and look at the name. Look at her name, look at her face. African Wala, am I wrong in saying that woman looks like a Latina? You know Latinas.
Yeah, here's my take on this whole issue. I'll be very, very honest with you, my brother. I'm not even mad at this lady.
No,
Personally,
I'm not mad at her.
she's
It's
she's
not her
just
fault.
She's simply taking advantage of how foolish we are. We
And
as African people, if we
Mhm.
can allow this mess to continue thriving, and someone like this lady, Mia Leroux, that's what her name looks like.
I mean, look
She's
at it.
taking
It
advantage.
sounds French. It looks French. It sounds French.
Yeah,
And
she's
you're telling
definitely.
me she's more African than somebody that has the same skin color as her. That is sad.
Well, at the end of the day, right, bro, it's a thing of the past. But if you ask me what Nigerians and South Africans look like in this debacle, to me, they look like this Twitter post from this individual. He says, slaves versus slaves.
Mm.
Nigerians and South Africans may just be the most cowardly people on earth. I
Oh
agree.
yes. Oh yes.
Both
Oh
are
yes.
too scared and lazy to take action against their oppressors. So they
Yes.
go at each other because it's a
Yes.
convenient thing to do.
But see, African warrior.
This is a whole new level
Ah,
of mental slavery. And 1 second, brother, I want the Nigerian audience to understand something because you might be feeling like, oh, it's time for us to come together and show these South Africans that they can't mess with us, they can't fuck with us. But guess what? You look and sound crazy. You look and sound exactly like a slave if you have that same mindset. How about you channel that energy and go and fight the government officials that made Nigeria the poverty capital of the world? How about you go fight? You use that energy, come together instead
and
of
fashion
fighting random South
entrepreneurs.
Africans, bro. Instead of fighting random South Africans on Twitter, how about you come together in a protest? Go and face those criminal politicians that have made Nigeria the third most terrorized country in Africa. So when South Africans are coming around and dissing Nigerians, calling them, oh, generator republic, because there is no electricity and an average Nigeria has electricity, they have the mouth to do so. But the same thing applies to the stupid 4% South Africans that think that channeling their energy towards their fellow oppressed people is the best way that they can make any move. You're not making any move. All you're doing is you're picking on the low hanging fruit. And in real life, you don't even make any real impact. There is no real detrimental impact that you can have, no matter how much you try to bash the people online. It changes nothing. I'm going to show you quickly some of the side effects of this Bolt war. Because both, like you said, brother, one true emperor, both messed up, man. They've really exposed how how fragile their infrastructure is. And just look at this. These are people in South Africa, right? These people are in South Africa. I know this is South Africa because Nigeria doesn't have good roads like this. Nigerian roads are trash. Nigerian roads are absolute garbage. And that's why South Africans have more right to actually diss Nigerians because Nigeria, you don't even have roads like this, bro. So I can tell just looking at this photo that this is South Africa. So Nigerians are ordering Bolt rides from Lagos and Abuja and different parts of Nigeria. They are ordering Bolt rides, trying to frustrate and confuse South Africans.
Oh, say before you play the video, sorry. Before you play the video, let me just add to a little bit of what you've said as you are playing the video. You see, let us talk about our fellow Nigerians. We are in the midst of a state capture by the APC political party.
Hmm.
We are afraid to stand up to our leaders. We are afraid to stand up to our pastors. We are slaves to our religion, either Muslim or Christians. But yet, because foreigners are attacking us, we now have the sense to come together to now attack a foreigner. That is just very foolish.
Bro, is there any form of pride or dignity in that? What you just explained now?
Bro, that is just very
Why do
foolish.
these people feel they feel dignified? They feel like they're achieving something in their lives when they come together to attack a foreigner, but they can never come
See,
together to attack the criminal politicians that put them
see,
in slavery.
let me see. You see, that is why I agree with that post saying that Nigerians and South Africans are cowards.
Yeah.
That's just it. Nigerians and South Africa they are cowards because, like that picture said, the slaves fighting slaves.
Period.
Imagine Nigerians are calling South Africans xenophobic people, but yet they wanted to do Igbos must go protest.
Thank you very much.
Like, no, think about it.
Bro, you know what's funny? Some of those clowns, some of those idiots that were trying to stage Igbo must go protest in Lagos, in Nigeria, they are among the idiots coming together with their fellow Igbos that they hate to these South Africans. Are these people not fucking retarded, bro? What's wrong with us?
There are mad
There's
people.
something in the water we drink. What's wrong with us?
Guy, mad people everywhere. Slave mentality everywhere. Because trust me, in some of the posts I've seen both Yoruba and Igbo people coming together and be attacking a South African. I've seen it on Twitter or on X or whatever that app is called.
Yeah.
But the Yoruba man and the Igbo man cannot come together and say, let us fight for good governance in our country. The Yoruba man and Igbo man cannot come together and hold the Islamic clerics and hold the pastors responsible. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous at this point. How we as Africans as a whole.
Then it's time for us to just
how we move. Like, we are not moving with sense at all. Like Martinelli always says, the black race is a conquered race. And every time I see things like this, I don't want to believe Martinelli, but whenever he tells me the black race is a conquered race, and you see things like this, it's so difficult not to agree with him.
Proves him right, man. Gives him more points. But let me, bro, in the midst of everything going on, this is what people are planning for Africa. While Africans are trying to tear themselves apart, and let me give a shout out to Silicon Bio. Thank you so much, Silicon Bio. He says, Bolt blocks Nigerian and South African users using fake rights. I mean, that's a good...
Okay, that's a good update. At least Bolt is taking... Okay, that's a good responsibility. That's a good move from Bolt. At least they are blocking those people who have made fake orders. So that's a good step from them. But come on, that is still a flawed in their system. That's still a flawed in their app. You know, that is still embarrassing. And the CEO of Bolt still needs to come out and make a statement, because that's just sad.
Yeah. Now, this is what people are planning for Africa. While Africans are trying to tear themselves apart, they are going extremely petty, you know, trying to just destroy one another's business and replace the people in control with foreigners. We African people would rather have that situation. Then the foreigners are planning this for us.
To put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens, because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold on a second. Hold on. People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
Of course he would say this. This is Eric.
Listen. This types of...
Hold on. Did he lie? No. You see, that's number one question we need to ask. Everything he said, did he lie? Did he lie that Africa cannot govern themselves? Did he lie?
We can even go on a frame by frame analysis quickly.
Okay, let's go on a frame by frame analysis.
To put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves.
Pause that. You see?
Yeah. We're going to govern those countries because they are incapable of governing themselves. Please,
remember, see. But guess what? But you are forgetting the first thing he said. And the first thing he said is the most dangerous thing. He said we have to put back our imperial hat on.
To put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to countries incapable of governing yourselves.
Pause there. A white man is saying we have to put back an imperial hat on. That is white supremacy right there.
And it's not just a regular so-called white man. This is a powerful guy.
Exactly. For him to be comfortable to say that is white supremacy right there. Let us bring back white supremacy, because these idiotic black people in Africa cannot govern themselves. The second, and everything he's saying is correct.
Let's analyze the next portion of the frame.
Let's move on.
We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
My man said, "Oh, because we are done being invaded." I believe that is making reference to, a lot of Africans that have to cross the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea
exactly
to get into Europe. So
exactly
those lower European countries, Spain, Italy, they are beginning to feel the pressure. So, in my opinion, the only reason why African people are forced to emigrate to Europe is for a better life. Many African people are running away from economic turmoil, running away from political instability, war,
terrorism,
all types of shit. So when we get to Europe, we are basically trying to survive. Now, how do these instabilities begin in the first place? A lot of times we get influenced by the same Europeans. So it is
exactly. So you see, and that's why I don't feel sorry for them. Whenever white people cry about immigration, I really don't care. Even though I know it's going to affect me because it might be pressure on my taxes, I really don't care, because if you Europeans minded your business, Africa will not come out. People will not be leaving Africa. You came here, you colonized us, you left us in a bad shape, you killed our people, raped our women, stole our resources, you are still stealing our resources, and yet you are complaining about people invading your countries, you're complaining about immigrants. Please shut the fuck up.
It's
just shut the fuck up.
It's a side effect.
It's the side effect of what you did. So they should stop crying. But he's not lying about the first thing he said.
The first thing
he's
he said
not lying.
True. Yeah, but
it's
the second
true.
point, both of us completely disagree with him. But let's analyze a little bit more.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens.
Well, I disagree on that point to an extent, because we have
it's not all of sacrifice. It's not all of
it's
Africa.
not the entire Africa. We have some decent countries, bro. I can easily name
we have a lot of decent countries.
Yeah, man.
A lot.
Talking about sub-Sahara Africa, I can easily call out countries like Botswana, even Namibia.
Yeah.
The tiny islands of like Mauritius,
Eritrea, Seychelles. There are a lot of Rwanda.
There are many countries doing decent. People have decent lives. So whoever this dude is, BlackRock CEO, is talking shit. But let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to shut up.
Because the government's about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris.
Bro, I have to pause at this point. Did you hear what that man said?
Yes, looting, shopping,
pillaging
in Paris. Looting, pillaging, and going shopping in Paris. It's true.
It sounds like it's talking to me and you directly, man. Because, bro, our so-called presidents, we originate from a place they call Nigeria, even though a lot of us have mentally succeeded from that entity, and we no longer want to identify with a British creation that has destroyed the lives of at least 80% of the population for 124 years on a consistent basis. 80% of the population of Nigerians
till this day. But African Wala, this is the mistake we should not now make. Though we agree that the West imperialist and the white patriarchy has destroyed us for over a century, but this black man speaking to you refused to blame the white man for everything. I'm not going to blame the white man for everything. So that's the mistake we should not make, and that's the impression we should not give our viewers. I'm not going to put everything on the white man, because Nigeria has been independent for how many years now?
60 whatever, 65, 64.
Okay. The apartheid regime ended in South Africa how many years now?
About maybe 30 years ago, 32.
And guess what? They have had a black president since the apartheid regime. Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, Zuma, Ramaphosa, all black men. And yet, these 4%ers cannot get their land back. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Facts.
Get the fuck out of here, you xenophobic black South Africans, you fucking 4%ers. You guys have had how many black presidents since the apartheid regime? Nelson Mandela for 8 years, Mbeki for 8 years, Zuma for 8 years, now Ramaphosa. And not only that, you have Ramaphosa and Malema, another black man, running for president. And you guys cannot get your land back after all these years. Like I said, Nelson Mandela wasted 27 years in prison. And Nelson Mandela is a failure himself. Because if he himself was president for 8 years and could not give back his people back their land, then he himself is a failure. Let's move on. He is right. They take all your money and they go shopping in Paris, in Dubai, in Switzerland, keeping our money in the Cayman Islands.
The Nigerian president, Tinubu, is literally in Paris as we speak. That's where he spends most of his time. He has medical conditions. His doctor lives in France, in Paris. He goes to Paris maybe twice a month to go hang out. And
this one is hang out. He's going there for medical checkup.
To go use a solid, good roads, good hospitals, breathing clean air, all that stuff that we don't have. But he's supposed to be one of the richest people in Nigeria, and he's supposed to be the leader of Nigeria. And there is nothing wrong. We Nigerians, we're just like, oh, he's our leader. Let him go to France and do his thing. No, we don't complain. So that's why if we are channeling our energy towards our fellow Africans and going in huge rage, having high vim and vigor, trying to destroy our fellow Africans, South Africans, because whatever beef that we have between us. Meanwhile, our leaders are enslaving us, leaving us in shitholes in countries without infrastructure, while they go to Europe, to Paris, to go use good hospitals. Then we are
good hospitals. It's not only that. It's not only good hospitals. They are using good hospitals. They are chilling in 24 hours, electricity, good amenities, good roads, security. Trust me, if you see all these politicians abroad, do you see them walking around with security? With police and all those things? No.
They don't do that.
No. So what are we talking about?
Let's finish this guy's video, bro.
Instead of actually
all right, hold on a second. Hold on. People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
This guy just admitted they should go back and being a colonial master. Do you know how crazy that is? That a white man in this day and age is comfortable telling the world, let's go back and recolonize Africa because these idiots cannot govern themselves and their politicians take their money and shop in Paris. But meanwhile, they are also upset that it has caused high immigration into their country, even though that effect is a byproduct of them stealing our natural resources and colonizing us.
Ultra Hole Challenge is back.
Not bad.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So even though I agree with this white man on some of the things he said, to me, he's just a regular white imperialist.
And bro, the reason why people like that have the balls to talk that way is this. So this is Tinubu. Look at him, so happy with his life. Oh, the guy is so happy. This guy is gleaming. He's smiling from left to right.
He's glowing.
Oh my God! I finally meet my masters. That's what I said. That's Tinubu, the president, meeting the president of France. After you guys need to remember something about Tinubu, right? This Tinubu guy, the current Nigerian president, is a known drug baron. Okay, this guy was a drug baron in America, convicted, FBI files, public knowledge. All you need to do is do some Google search, and you will find all this information. Nobody is slandering.
Nigerians are afraid of doing Google search. That's my problem with Nigerians. They have iPhones, they have Samsung, they have all these smartphones, but they cannot put it to use when it's needed to be put to use.
They would rather use it to bully their fellow Africans, South Africans.
Exactly.
So this guy, this clown, this Nigerian president, this guy is basically a top-notch stooge to Macron. If Macron was Nigerian, he will be referring to Tinubu as, oh, daddy, my father, because Tinubu is probably twice his age. But look at him gleaming. He's so happy to be associated with Macron because they all have a compromat on him. They know he's a criminal. The West would rather have us have these types of criminal leaders. They can work with these types of leaders. But if we have a decent leader,
they don't want to work with him.
Bro, check this out. If we have a leader that will try to take the land back from the Europeans in South Africa and give it back to the 4 percentiles, then people like Macron will be against that type of leader. But when they have a stooge like Tinubu that will continue giving the land to the, to the Europeans, that's the type of leader that they want. So when this criminal...
African Wildlife, sorry for cutting you off. Martinelli's backstage.
Oh, my brother Martinelli. What's good, brother? What's good, General Gaddafi? My man, bro, we've been cooking on this Nigerian, South African debacle. I think he's still loading. He's not fully in the studio yet. Once he's fully loaded, we can hear from Martinelli. Great contributor. But at the end of the day, man, this dude, whatever this guy's name is, I can find out. Let me actually do some quick research and find out this guy's name. Eric Prince. Eric Prince, a private military mercenary. He's American. He's all obviously with the right-wing political side of things, and he believes that African countries should be recolonized. And unfortunately, African countries prove him right. We prove him right.
Exactly. African countries prove him right. Definitely.
So,
African countries are proving him right. You see, that is why I said this white imperialist can in 2024 is comfortable saying, let us go back and be colonial masters. I cannot blame him for having that confidence in saying that because, as you said, African countries are proving him right.
So, brother, I'm going to share something quickly. I just want to hear your take on this one. Just give your take in about maybe 2 minutes. What do you think of Mr. Paul Biya of Cameroon? He's currently 90 years old and he plans to run for another federal. He's 93 years old actually, and he plans to run for another general elections. And I believe a presidential term in Cameroon is 7 years. So if he's successful and he doesn't pass away before the end of the next 10 years, he will be 100 years old, the oldest president in the history of mankind, and the longest serving ruler. What do you think about that?
African Wala. You can hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Africa has no shame. Africa has no shame. If Cameroonians at this stage in 2024 are okay with a 93-year-old man running for president and they expect any development, then I have no sympathy for whatever is going on with them. The same way I have no sympathy for what is going on with Nigeria. Nigerians allowed a drug dealer to be president. Nigeria allowed a drug dealer to be president. And also they were comfortable with somebody like Akpabio being Senate president. They were comfortable with somebody like Shetima being vice president. And you expect me to feel sorry for Nigerians? Hell no. It's the same way with Cameroonians. If in 2024, Cameroonians, with the state of their country, with the civil unrest and the tribalism that also goes on there between the French and the English-speaking parts, and they are comfortable, French-speaking Cameroonians, English-speaking Cameroonians, they are comfortable with a 93-year-old man running as president, then I don't know what to say. More power to them. And they deserve everything they get, and they deserve everything they've gotten, the same way Nigerians and South Africans deserve everything they are getting from their leaders. It's as simple as that. That's my own reaction to it.
And my bro, you see, I know some of our viewers might be feeling like, oh, these guys are not empathetic in any way. Why are you
No,
not?
no, no, no. That died in 2015 when Nigerians decided to vote in Buhari. That died. My empathy died. It died a long time ago, bruv.
For me,
I
it's
feel no sorry.
for me, it's crazy because if you guys can actually channel your energy towards attacking South Africans because of a xenophobia bullshit that is going on over there, and you decide to unite to fight against a random African country, but you can't unite to fight against the oppressors that have made sure that we remained a shithole,
Exactly. That's where we are.
then
Sorry.
you're,
Sorry to
you're
cut you off.
unfortunately you're putting a lot of people in a situation where they no longer have empathy, and that's just the truth.
You see,
We're going to speak on one last topic.
sorry, before we move to the last topic,
Okay.
and that's exactly what I'm saying. You cannot make the same mistakes and you expect somebody to feel sorry for you. When you keep on doing the same thing, people try to educate you, people try to lecture you. When you criticize, when somebody criticizes your leader, oh, you say, oh, it's because he's Awusa, it's because he's Igbo, it's because he's Yoruba. Like, come on, man. Like, and you expect me to feel sorry for you? I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm not going to feel sorry for the 4%ers. I'm not going to feel sorry for Nigerians. I'm not going to feel sorry for any of them. It's just as simple as that.
Martinelli, General Gaddafi, what's good, King? Thank you for joining us, brother.
Hello, dear,
my
brother. Hello, dear. Hello, my brothers. Hello, dear.
Yes,
hello,
sir. Yes, bro, man. We've been cooking, man.
I'm so
although you missed a little bit, but we would have to go back to the beginning, have you react to every one of these videos, because I know you have a ton to say and you have a lot of education to deliver to the people.
I don't even know now.
Yeah, your
it will be good to turn off your it will be good to turn off your camera. Maybe that will help with the
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's my camera. I have no idea, but let me just
but you seem to be transmitting fine now, bro. You seem to be transmitting fine now.
Are you sure?
Yeah. If there is any technical issues, we'll let you know.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So let me start with the first topic of conversation. I'm sure you heard about the social media war going on between Nigerians and South Africans, where both sides are booking Bolt. They've used Bolt as the middleman in their beef, and they are both booking Bolt rides in both countries, confusing people. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, my what I have to say is, I really don't have much to say about it. I think this particular scenario, this particular hullabaloo that is currently going on now, it just goes to show how lost the black man is, and how I'm trying to find the right words to use without being too grammatically not well. I actually want to be harsh, but I don't want to be grammatically over the top. I'm just trying to find the right words to, just to put it. I think the black race, this particular incident just goes to show how lost. That's the only way. That's the only phrase I can actually use for now. Without trying to sound too over the top. I mean, Africans are fighting, and they are using an app that was created by a European to fight. And whether they like it or not, Bolt is going to make some money from that, because I don't know about Africa, but here in England, if you deliberately book a boat ride and you end up canceling it, you're going to pay. So I don't know how they're doing it, but one way or the other, I'm pretty sure people are going to, spend some money. And that money is not going to go into any black man's pocket. It's going to go into the creator of, or the owner of Bolt. And the last time I checked, I didn't see any black man or any African in the board, board of directors or the owners of Bolt. Whatever it is that the black people are doing, I just hope they realize that while they are busy tearing each other apart, you know, the imperialists, or as we always like to call it, the imperialists or the oppressors, they are smiling to the bank, and they're happy. So you can keep tearing yourself apart, you can keep eating yourself. That's your business. The imperialists will keep smiling to the bank. And I know how we black people, we always, that's one of our biggest illusion that we like to adorn ourselves with is, this illusion of, oh, we are being oppressed, neocolonialism. I mean, neocolonialism in its true sense is an idea that the black man themselves actually took on board willingly. Colonialism and slavery and all that was not fully intentional. Like, we didn't really know what we were doing. Now, we can say we didn't really know what we were doing when we were colonized, but we got past that, and now we're in another phase where we don't have the Europeans living amongst us. We don't really have them dwelling in our in our land or in our space like they did back in the 1600s, 1400s, for however many decades and centuries that that they enslaved us. They're not there with us now. But who are the people in charge of our institutions? Who are the people in charge of all our ministries, of all our palaces? Who are our leaders now? Who are in charge of Africa now? It's Africans. And what are we doing? We are tearing ourselves apart. That's what we're doing. So, I've said this a few times, and I'll keep saying it. The black man, whether they want to accept it or not, they are conquered. And maybe in another lifetime, maybe we might get to have an upper hand. But at this particular moment in time, like, we are done. We just need to just find somewhere to, go back to the afterlife and go and reorganize, and then come back again and see if we can, if we can measure up.
Afterlife.
As it is right now, we are done. We can never catch up. We are done. We can't catch up. We cannot. So let's not delude ourselves with this idea of, oh, we want to get ourselves, we want to free ourselves. We are the one enslaving ourselves. We are the one oppressing ourselves, not Europeans. Whatever magic, whatever method, whatever whatever ideology that they put in place that has allowed that to happen, it's up to us. It's our responsibility, and we put it upon ourselves to be oppressors. We are the one oppressing ourselves right now, but we don't want to take blames. We don't want to take responsibility for this fuckery that we have bestowed on ourselves, because it is our fault. When the Europeans, when they ended slavery and they left, our leaders or our forefathers then, they could have negotiated a very good deal, in the sense that, you stay in your own place, we'll keep doing business, but we're not going to answer to you. But that's not the case. That's not what they did. They actually agreed to continue literally giving, the white man, the Europeans, our Commonwealth, for a fraction, for a token. And that is still prevalent today. But we turn around, we do all this, our leaders do all this, and then we go back again, and then we start saying, oh, the Europeans is the reason why we are not progressing. The Europeans are the reason why we're not moving forward as a people. Are they the ones in charge of our institutions? Are they the one leading us? No, they're not. No. So we can keep blaming them all we like, but this South Africa and Nigeria's current, tussle has just debunked that illusion that, the West is the one in charge and they're the one. We can all agree that our leaders are puppets, but for God's sake, is the average African also a puppet? Is that what we are saying? That this whole this whole fight, this whole
bro,
unnecessary.
the puppets emerge from us. Those African leaders are from our stock. They come from this population. So this population creates
we are the one.
puppet leaders.
So until we as Africans, first of all, begin to see ourselves as one and equal, I'm very sorry. Again, I know a lot of people would like to delude themselves that, you know, the black race is the ultimate. Nah, you're not. You cannot be the ultimate race and be this stupid. Like, come on, get a hold of it. Get a grip.
Okay,
you can't be.
Let me ask a question, my brother. So I want to refer to a comment by Silicon Bio. He says,
"Go for it."
Mandela went straight ahead to live in European man's house. Immediately he was released from prison. In my opinion, that was when he made the deal with them to sell out South Africa, and he must have agreed that on that condition before they as well agreed to free him. I don't envy his legacies. I mean, this is a solid point. It's a logical point, in my opinion. What do you think?
Silicon Valley.
Let me say something about that. I mean, I wanted to even address that comment. Sorry for cutting you off, Martinelli. Silicon Valley, shout out to him.
Shout out to Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley.
This is the most logical statement that I can make out from Mandela's legacy. Think about it. Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He was the forefront against the apartheid regime.
Right.
These white men put you in prison for 27 years. And you came out and you became president for 8 years, and your people don't have their land back. Silicon Valley made a correct statement. This statement by Silicon Valley is the logical explanation. Because how can you go through everything you went through? You were beaten. Mandela was beaten like a dog. Before he went to prison, he was beaten like a dog in the streets. Then spent 27 years in prison. You became president for 8 years, enriched yourself and your family because there is no broke Mandela. The Mandelas are very, very rich, but your people don't have their land back. Man, Silicon Valley made the correct statement. I do not envy his legacies either because Mandela to me is useless. He is proven useless. Simple.
I mean, like I'm not gonna come out. I'm not gonna come out here and start insulting anybody and start calling anybody names, you know, because I haven't been opportune to walk in their shoes. You never know. You know, maybe if I was faced with Mandela's condition, I probably would have done the same thing Mandela did. But if we are going to look at the antecedents of our leaders from the time of Mandela till now, the question you need to ask yourself as an African is, what was the impact, or what was the gain from the whole incarceration and the whole time that Mandela spent in prison? He was in prison for a very, very long time, 20-something years. He literally had
27.
He had literally had a better part of his life taken away from him, and all for what? You know, he came out of prison, and from that time till now, the fate of the South African the fortunes of the South African has astronomically declined.
Bro.
It didn't just decline. It astronomically declined because
they have no economy, bro. They have no economy. Land is the biggest economy. They have not. Only 4% of the land.
And we're actually talking about, you know, Black South Africa now, because, you know, whether you like it or not, you have Black and you have white South Africa. And I don't know if you guys know this. You know, white South Africa is actually pushing to have their own country. I don't know if you guys have heard this. The white South Africa is pushing to split South Africa up right now. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not public
news.
it's not public news. Well, it's public now because I heard it on the platform as well in public. So, but it's not widespread.
It's
not widespread.
That's currently going on in Orania, South Africa.
Orania, God bless.
They're trying
Thank
to
you
have
very
a
much.
province. They're trying to have a republic of
Thank
Orania.
you very much. Orania. Thank you very much. I mean, I try not to because I'm as a Nigerian, as somebody from the contract.
They are trying to have their own province in that region.
Yes, I try to bother myself less with things that happen, outside, outside Nigeria because we have our own fish to fry. So, but that actually caught my attention. I mean, these are the people that are doing everything they can to alienate their own people, people who look like them. I'm talking about Black South Africa now. They're doing everything they can to alienate their own people and to, to say how better they are than their own people. But why South Africa, while the blacks are busy, the Black South Africans are doing that, the white South Africans, they are literally carving out their own space. And they're not doing it for the benefit of the entire South Africa. They are doing it for the benefit of white South Africa. And before you know it, it's going to be 1666 or 1888 all over again, and we're going to have Black people slaving,
segregated.
Wait.
Exactly.
Speaking about that, this is taking me to this video that I need you to react to because you've said so much.
Thank you very much.
That is
I've seen it before, but let's play it again.
You need me and One True just reacted to this video. It's going to take about 30 seconds.
I've seen it before, but I would love to.
But we want to hear your reaction.
Then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold on a second. Hold on. People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
Of course he would say this. This is Eric Prince, the founder of Black.
Yes, sir. So what do you think about that?
I mean, like, if you look at Africa today, and you look at Africans today and how we have misled and mismanaged and misruled ourselves for the last 100 years, the last century. I mean, like, as difficult, and I know, and this is part of the things that bothers me as an African. Like, the average African is very deluded. The average African is very. I try not to be too insulting on our own people, but it's hard.
Bro, hold on before you continue. If you really want to talk about Africa, you just have to see it as it is.
No, you're gonna
see. Hold on, guys. You just have to say it as it is because we cannot sugarcoat things. Africans, the average Africans only have time for big bum, Gucci belts, Louis Vuitton, Davido and whiskey,
and bling. That itself is something that we as Black people, I would say, just for that reason alone, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot because all these things are material things, and acquiring material things doesn't really move a nation forward. Building strong men, strong people, powerful people doesn't move any country forward. Institutions, parastatals are what move a people forward. But in the whole of Africa now, what exactly can we say we have as a people? We don't have anything.
We have Afrobeats. Bro, we have Afro beats. That's what they say.
Yeah.
We know how to dance.
That's
Bro,
okay. That's fine.
bro,
But
that's it.
what has dancing? What has dancing? What has dancing added to Africa? What has it like? As we speak right now, the best dancer on the planet is not even an African.
That is the funny
As
thing.
good as we know how to dance, we don't. The best dancer is not. They're not in Africa. We know that we have dancers, we have good dancers, but the best dancers, they're not in Africa. The best athletes are not in Africa.
Facts.
They're not there. We don't have anything because we don't have institutions. We don't have anything. All we have is just hype again and bling bling and
Let me
the loud
let me
mouth.
speak about that hype. If you don't mind, let me just cut you off and speak a little bit about that hype. That hype is that demonic spirit that pushed both South Africans and Nigerians to try to tear one another down, because we are all always looking for something to hype ourselves about. Oh, Lagos is such a great city, but in real life, Lagos is trash, absolute garbage, the filthiest city in the world. There's nothing good about it. It's I mean, whenever it rains, it floods. It's full of shit, poo-poo. I mean, it's full of but you find people hyping it that, oh, it's the greatest city in the world. Tinubu built Lagos. So it's that madness. It's low self-esteem, actually. I need people
at the end of the day.
You see, people need to understand this psychological, where this type of behavior originates from a psychological perspective. It stems from low self-esteem. When people have low self-esteem, inferiority complex, they are always looking for something to hang on to make them feel better about themselves. And that's why they clutch onto straws, onto nonsense. It's nothing. We literally have nothing, bro. I agree with you. We have absolutely nothing. We don't have the best music.
We never had anything. Let's just keep it real. We never had anything to begin with.
There's nothing. We literally have nothing, bro. But I also hold on, bros. I need to quickly show you guys these two comments. These two comments. First one is from Silicon Bio. He says Orania is meant for European South Africans, backed with their constitution. No, no indigenous African there lives there. Wow, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me even react to that comment. Even if you don't know about it, you should not be surprised. Guys, what was the apartheid regime all about? These people don't still have their lands back. So of course, I'm not surprised something like that will be in their constitution.
And then how come those 4 indigenous presidents that they've had never amended this garbage constitution?
Good, you see? That is the question I'm asking. They've had Mandela for 8 years, Mbeki for 8 years, Zuma for 8 years.
You will have to go back to Mandela to ask those questions.
Exactly. You have to go back to Mandela and ask those questions. He was the first black president.
Mandela was the one that was in charge when they had their freedom
issues. Exactly.
So, when apartheid was abolished, or when apartheid ended, what was the agreement? What were the terms and conditions?
What did Mandela sign? What did Mandela sign? What documents did Mandela sign?
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to put myself in Mandela's shoes now. I've been in prison for 27 years. I've been getting my ass whipped. I've been getting completely obliterated.
I've been beaten.
27 years. And then they come and tell me that, hey, listen, I'll let you go. But what you need to do is sign this document. This document institutionalizes our ability to own 95% of the land in this country. And you poor peasants are going to be left with 4%. That sounds like that's what happened in that interaction.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened in that interaction.
It wouldn't surprise me. Again, that is why when we talk about our former leaders, I try not to criticize them too much. I try not to be too insultive about them because I wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. Because
knowing what I wasn't there. So, but if I'm today I'm given that opportunity, knowing what I know now, I'll definitely do something different. But another thing you have to ask yourself is, what are the people? What are they doing? What are they saying? For example, now, if I go out now and I sell my people out, and my people don't say anything, that means they are happy with the price. That means they are happy, with
That you sold them off.
with the exchange rate. So, but if I sell my people out and my people come out and they're like, oh no, why did you sell us out? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? You couldn't have sold us out. So, but Mandela did all that until tomorrow. Mandela is a hero. So Mandela couldn't have been canonized or couldn't have been made a hero or made a saint or been given this sainthood if the people of South Africa were not happy with the prize. They must have been happy with the prize. They must have been happy.
Wait. Let me ask both of you this question. Because I'm trying to be fair on Mandela.
Yep.
This guy is our hero. At the end of the day, man.
No, he's not my hero, bro.
He's not my hero. He was never my hero.
Okay. I agree, brothers. You know what I'm saying? You guys are my brothers, and I completely agree with you. I'm not trying to make him your hero. But what I'm saying is, someone like that comes from our generation that was indoctrinated for 30 years, over 40 years, that this guy was our hero. Is it fair for us to say a part of him was definitely not a hero, but at the same time, we can't completely throw him out and say he was a villain? Is that a fair judgment?
Let me answer you by saying this. They say when you live long enough, your heroes become villains.
Thank you very much.
That is the best way I can answer that question, because if we look at the current South African situation, we have to go back to Nelson Mandela. This guy was president. They've had 4 indigenous presidents that have ruled for maximum terms since the apartheid. Why is it that the 4%ers still own 4% of the land? Why is it that they have a constitution whereby white people can declare their own province and they are meant to be one? So I'm sorry, I disagree with that statement, because I'm not old enough to realize that Nelson Mandela, Patrick Lumumba, Marcus Garvey, and all their boys were scammers and were frauds and they are useless.
No, bro. I disagree when you call Patrice Lumumba. No, not my Patrice, bro. Patrice was literally killed and melted.
Patrice was more, and this is the problem. This is
melted in acid.
When we come back, when we talk about our heroes and our villains, this is where
you know what? I think it's even a different topic, because with Patrice Lumumba, why would you hold a convention and white people were there? That's all I have to say. So that's it. Your enemies were there when you were planning. Your enemies were there when you were holding the greatest convention of black people. Come on now. I can't respect that.
Are you talking about the convention that was held in Ghana or the one in Congo?
Everything. Should white people were there and everything. They allowed white people to be in their midst. So I can't respect that.
Make I talk one point. Nobody say they give them excuse. Hey, let me speak English for our non-pidgin English viewers. I'm not trying to give these guys any excuse, but way back in 1956, 55, 54, when Patrice Lumumba, first of all, it was Kwame Nkrumah that had the first great African conference in Ghana, where Patrice Lumumba came to Ghana and realized that, wow, we can do it. Because Patrice was inspired by Kwame Nkrumah. And then they had another convention in Congo. At the same time, the Belgians were there. And my excuse is, the Europeans back then, they were very powerful. They had weapons. They were pretty much in control of Africa. Is that a good enough excuse?
No. Do you know why?
Why?
Do you know why? Because I have seen and read stories and watched movies as to how the IRA were able to hold strategic meetings despite the fact that the British Army occupied their lands. So that's an excuse. The IRA was able to hold strategic meetings and kick the British off their lands, despite the fact that the British were everywhere in their lands. So,
as a matter of
so
fact,
that's an excuse.
they actually live next door to these people. So
Exactly. They live next door to the British, and they were still able to strategize and do what they needed to do.
While
So
the British
please,
were right in their midst, so they were able to do it. And this is the
exactly.
problem.
So
This is where I have problems. Sorry for cutting you off, one train. This is where I have problem with my people. We make too much excuses. Like
exactly.
Africans literally have an excuse for every level of foolishness that we have managed to attain in the last century. We have an excuse for not developing ourselves. We have an excuse for not being united. We have an excuse for being divided. We have an excuse for being too religious. We have an excuse for being backward. There's an excuse for everything, and that has to stop. Otherwise, we're never going to move forward. We're never
Okay,
going to.
brothers.
We can never move forward.
My good brothers. Honestly, man, guys, this show is, I swear, this show was only supposed to last about 30 minutes. Now we've gone way beyond time, but we still have a lot to cover.
I'm going to apologize for being late. I did everything I can to make, I did everything I can, I could, to make sure that I was, I could come here on time. So
yeah,
I'm going to apologize for not being able to.
My brother, thank you for coming in, man. Don't even apologize, man. I should be grateful.
I wish I could make it a bit earlier. So.
But let's quickly go through some other points. You guys have brought up some points, that has brought up other points that we need to cover. First point, let's talk about. We're going to address people in the comment section first. We have Mr. Root Saint. He says, much respect. I support the man's point. I mean, Nigeria was under colonial rule, more organized, more developed when it comes to infrastructure. He also says, can you believe Nigerian judges and lawyers still wear a wig fashioned against blonde?
That's a very, very valid
point. Let me go first. Let me go first. Mr. Root Saint, his two comments, I sort of partly agree with the first one. I definitely agree with the second one. Can you put up his first comments? Because I think this is the mistake most of us Africans make. If you think we were more organized and more developed under them, I can understand why you think that, but I think we were more under subjugation. That should be the right word. We were subjugated, and therefore we had to behave ourselves. If not, they will kill us.
Facts.
It's just as simple as that. And during that subjugation, they stole our resources. I mean, for Christ's sake, the British colonized us and they could not leave us with 24 hours electricity. Come on now. I mean, the British colonized us. There was no good road network. Most of our road network was built by the military regime. Come on now. So I can understand why Mr. Root thinks like that, but I disagree. We were living more in subjugation than being more organized and developed. Because if we were more organized and developed, then our leaders should have continued that footpath. But guess what? They continued the footpath of subjugation and looting. Simple. And to his second comment, that is the problem. When he's talking about the lawyers still wearing the black wig, the black robe, and the white wigs, that's the problem. That is our leaders continuing from where our colonial masters stopped. So that's why I sort of disagree with his first comment, but I don't blame him for him thinking like that. Because over here now in America, these judges are wearing regular clothes to the courtroom. But us, we still think that wearing that idiotic wig makes us judges or lawyers. I mean, anybody else can carry it from there.
Bro, they are going to be wearing those judges and lawyers when this is what the African leaders are doing.
Exactly. Very happy to see his slave master.
His slave master is young enough to be his son. And then
exactly.
He'll come back to Africa and he'll want us to call him daddy. Oh, our daddy.
Yeah, imagine.
And a lot of people
That
seem to
is-
forget. A lot of people seem to forget that this man was the governor of Lagos State when Macron was just a
a
tourist.
small boy. Yes,
A
just
tourist.
a tourist.
It was a tourist
Just
because
a tourist.
what do you call him? I wouldn't call him a hippie anyway, but he's he's an educated hippie because he was traveling across Africa when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor of Lagos State. Now he's president of France and Tinubu is president of France, much older than him, old enough to be his grandfather. And I mean, age is not the problem here, but look at Macron, look at France, look at Tinubu, and look at Nigeria. And then,
enough said.
Of course, enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Let's go to the comments, bro. Let's go to the comments, bro. Look, we have my brother here, ABS.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, my brother AB. I think I know who that is. That sounds like my homeboy. It says Mandela was not as bad as the guests are making it sound. Mandela did not.
That's fine.
He said Mandela did what Martin
I don't need to
King
even
did.
read all that comment alone. I don't need to. I'm sorry, African Wala. Sorry for cutting you off, but finish the comments.
Yeah. Okay. So it says, so basically, Mandela did what Martin Luther King Jr. did, which was giving in to the white people's interest, but that doesn't diminish the sacrifice that he made. Second point.
You see,
says,
and that is why. Hold on. Before you go to the second point, hold on, Martinelli. Hold on, Martinelli. Sorry.
Let me go quickly, just very quickly. This is where Africans make a lot of mistakes. This is part of the delusion of Africans. Martin Luther King is fucking dead, for God's sake. How can you be comparing the sacrifices of a dead man to the sacrifices of somebody who actually lived to see his quote unquote his vision come to life? Martin Luther King didn't get to see anything because he was actually killed. If Martin Luther King was alive, if he had lived to see the civil rights movement achieve what he wanted it to achieve, quote unquote, then we would have said, okay, yeah, they are both on the same level. But no, Martin Luther King was I don't have the explicit details of exactly why he was fucking. This guy got the.
He was assassinated. I'm here. He was assassinated.
Mandela, on the other hand, was in prison. Like, this is the delusion on the part of that Africans keep engaging themselves in. You cannot compare the sacrifice of a martyr with the sacrifices of and assumed, because we are not saying he definitely sold out, but we can say he sold out because the fortunes of his people didn't get better. The fortunes of his people did not improve. In fact, it declined astronomically.
It became worse.
Even in death, Martin Luther King's movement, Martin Luther King's legacies are still in existence, and they're still being pushed forward by people who strongly believed in him. How many people in South Africa today can say that they are upholding the legacies of Nelson Mandela? How many?
Especially in their politics.
You don't even have a seat in your fucking Senate, or you have the fewest seats in your Senate. You have the fewest seats in Parliament. So how can you, like, seriously, man, how can you put Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela in the
same sentence? They should not even be in the same sentence.
That's very, very unfair. The fact that Nelson Mandela have statues of him all over the world, and the fact that he was made, or people were made to see him as this hero. Ladies and gentlemen, if Hitler had won the war, Hitler would be a Nobel Prize peace.
Exactly.
If Hitler won the war, Hitler would have been, for God's sake, even before the end of the war, even before the whole war became what we now know it as. Hitler was Time Magazine's Man of the Year for God's sake. It's like people Time Magazine Man of the Year. What's wrong with people? Are people sick or something?
It's like people don't really go back and read their history on something sometimes.
No, people actually go back, but it is called selective amnesia. A lot of people pick they pick what they want to, or they remember what they want, what they want to remember. You don't actually remember.
We need to, you see, Martinelli, sorry for cutting you off. We need to deal with Africa's problem and not bring other people, countries' heroes into it. We are talking about Nelson Mandela. Black South Africans only own 4% of their land. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He spent 27 years in prison fighting for his people. He became president for 8 years, followed by Mbeki, followed by Zuma, now Ramaphosa. So I'm not going to give anybody's credit when there's a lot of evidence and they've done. I mean, for Christ's sake, like you said, the blacks, guys, these people are worse off. And you want me to give credit to Mandela? Somebody that lived out his life.
On the other hand,
Mandela lived out his life. On the other hand, Martin Luther King was assassinated, and there are still people, even in American politics, still pushing his legacies. Man, I don't understand people.
And the legacies of Martin Luther King has not only it didn't only improve the fortunes of the Black American, it also improved America as a whole. Since the death of Martin Luther King, or since the start of the civil rights movement, there's been lots of improvements in the inclusion of African Americans, or not just African Americans as a whole, because this wasn't even just about African Americans. Because when we talk about the civil rights, a lot of people keep confusing it with just black. No, you don't only have it's not only black people who live in America. You have hundreds of other races, hundreds of other ethnicities that live in America, and all these people, they all needed a voice, and they all came under one umbrella, and they pushed the agenda. Right now, if you go to the American Senate, you see all colors, all shades, and all types of people there. Can the same thing be said about South Africa, for God's sake? Can it be said about South Africa? Even though you have Black South Africans in parliament, even if you have Black South Africans in parliament.
Marcel, sorry for cutting you off. African Wala, please, can you put ABS comments, his new comments under there?
Yeah. We're going to get there. So let me explain what's going to happen. Well, I want us to wrap up the show within, if possible.
No. You can wrap up the show in the next 5 minutes. I just like ABS questions. He's asking good questions.
Yes, he is. And ABS, bro. Honestly, bro, if you want to join the conversation, just let me know in the comment section.
Feel free. And just tell us so that you can give us your own point as well.
It's perspective.
I mean, sometimes we seem to always try to go for it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to remind the people, all of us viewers, everybody, that today being August 22nd, it's a special day actually in the history of Haitians, the people of Haiti. We all know Haitian people are African people, but they found themselves in the Caribbean islands. Today marks the beginning of the revolution. So the Haitian Revolution that occurred between 1791 and 1804 was a successful anti-slavery and anti-colonial insurrection by enslaved Africans in the French colony of Saint-Domingue. Key leaders include Toussaint Louverture, I can't pronounce the name, I'm sorry guys, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Henri Christophe. It began August 22nd, 1791, and it culminated on January 1st, 1804. That's about 5 years, when the Haiti declared independence, becoming the first Black-led republic and first independent nation in Latin America and the Caribbean. The revolution abolished slavery and ended French control, inspiring other movements across the Americas. It also involved enslaved Africans, free people of color, and European powers like France, Spain, and Britain. So the only reason I'm bringing out this story is to have us remember that there is no form of oppression that we don't have the capacity to fight against and defeat.
Exactly.
Our people have done this as early as 300 years ago. they were able to kick
Thank you
out
very
the
much.
evil French that was brutalizing and killing and raping them,
Yep,
enslaving them.
yep.
If they had that power to conquer that situation, then we should be inspired by that story. So I just thought I brought that out there. Now,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, thank you so much for having that patience. Then I'm going to put the last two comments of ABS into the comment section. He says here, the question I have for the guests is that why is the Black American situation still the way it is in 2024 if Martin Luther King's civil rights movement was successful as you claim? And the second question is, or should we go one by one so you can
No,
answer
that's the
the question?
second question because it's the same answer for both, anyways.
Okay, so he says your guests are contradicting themselves. The last time I checked, the Black Americans are still being treated as second-class citizens in their country. And then he also says your guests are sorry, I'm not diminishing Martin Luther King's efforts, but the movement was sidetracked by Europeans. What do you have to say about that?
Good. So I think understanding these two questions is the same answer. He said if the civil rights movement worked out while Black Americans still treated as second class citizens. He also spoke about why is the Black American situation the same it is in 2024.
Yeah.
First of all, if Black Americans were still treated as second class citizens, I as an African, as a Nigerian, would not be in this country. The civil rights movement
Thank you very much.
paved way for people like me, a black immigrant, to
Thank
be in
you.
this country and to be very, very successful. Also, the reason why black Americans are not treated like second class citizens is because I myself, as a black immigrant, I am not living as a second class citizen. Trust me, I am not living as a second class citizen. My wife's family, who are black Americans, they are not living like second class citizens. Trust me. Also, the reason why you believe that black Americans are living as second class citizens is because you've been listening to CNN, Fox News, and MSBNC, because that is what they tell black Americans, that
And
they
social
are
media.
second class citizens. And also, you must have been listening to their politicians, because that's what their politicians tell them. Black Americans, you guys are second class citizens. America is currently in an election cycle, and that is what they are currently telling black Americans. They are telling black Americans that they are helpless. They are telling black Americans that white people are pulling them down. And that is not the truth. Black Americans, like Africans, we are still under mental slavery. And the reason why the black American situation is still the same way in 2024 is because a lot of black Americans, they have listened to false prophets, like how Africans keep listening to false prophets. A lot of their fellow black Americans are taking advantage of them because they believe that the white man is still their problem. If the white man is still their problem, we will not have people like Jay-Z, we will not have people like LeBron James, we will not have people like Kevin Durant, we will not have will not what's the name of this Nigerian doctor that is, I've forgotten his name. There's this Nigerian in NASA that is literally running their, one of the guys running their rocket engineering program. He's a Nigerian. I've forgotten his name. Guy, they are black immigrants in the highest form of power in this country. So please stop listening to CNN and do more research. Black Americans, like Africa, believe that the white man is their problem, and the white man is not their problem. A lot of them are not making the efforts to better themselves. A lot of them are not making the effort to do what they need to do. Like how we in Nigeria and we in South Africa need to do what we need to do to better ourselves and our country. So please don't fall for that hokey doke that black Americans are not doing well. If you really believe that black Americans are second class citizens, then wow, I don't know what to say, because black Americans are balling in this country. They are balling in this country. So please,
And
don't
just to
say they are
buttress your
second
point,
class
one true
citizens.
emperor, just to buttress your point, one true emperor. I mean, you are a living testimony of the benefits of what the civil rights movement try to achieve. You live.
Yes, I am a living benefit.
I mean, America is not 100%. America is not 100%.
It's not perfect. There's still racism and xenophobia here and there, but come on now.
And it will always be there. It will always be there. Because the racism is on both sides. You have black racists as well. Let's stop
exactly
yourself of racism is just a white man. It's a white man disease. It's not. And in buttressing your point about the fortunes of the immigrants today, without the civil rights movement, you most likely would never ever have a black president, even though he was not the best president, and some people will say
he was useless. Just say the truth. Barack Obama was useless.
A black man occupying the Oval Office, or the White House
will never happen.
It was like a dream that would never. It was like a dream that would never come true 60, 70, 80 years ago. But because of the actions of the civil rights movement, that became a reality. So looking back at the movement, the civil rights movement, and now, you can't, unless you want to be deluded, you want to delude yourself, you can't honestly say they haven't achieved anything.
The civil rights movement did not work. Come on, man, it achieved what it meant to achieve. People do not just take advantage of it.
Yeah, you can't say that. Some of the highest earners in sport in America today, they are black people. Some of the highest paid entertainers in America today, they are black people. That wasn't the case before the civil rights movement. That wasn't the case. Black people were getting cheated out of deals and contracts left and right. But because of the actions of the civil rights movement, the black race have been able to gain some sort of upward trajectory. And again, talking about the black race, if we were a little bit more, I'm not saying we are not united, I'm talking about African Americans now, or Africans who live in America. If we were a little bit more united and a little bit more together in our dealings and our doings, we would have been able to achieve a whole lot more. Not just in America, but across the continent.
And that's
part of the reasons why today, across the black continent, and that's one of the reasons why today the black race is still backward, because when it comes to that unity, we haven't been able to achieve that. We haven't been able to achieve it completely, fully. We come together to do certain things. We come together to party. We come together to enjoy. We come together to play. We come together to compete and do certain things. But when it comes to moving our people forward, we find it almost impossible. We find it difficult to come together to do that. The last time black people came together to actually do something meaningful was most likely the civil rights movement, and see what it achieved. Now imagine if the black race carried on with that momentum and kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. We most likely won't be where we are today in terms of the backwardness of Africa. But who are we going to blame for that? The white race? No, we have ourselves to blame, because they are not the one who lead us. We are the ones leading ourselves. So again, we keep blaming the white people, keep blaming them and blaming them for everything. But for God's sake, when are we going to start blaming ourselves? Really, when are we going to start blaming ourselves? Because the white man don't lead. The white man don't. The last time I checked, I've never seen a white president in Africa.
Well, it happened in South Africa.
Well, it did happen. It did happen in South Africa. You had them, but ever since they left, or ever since they handed over power, they've not been in charge of anything. But we keep blaming them. So when exactly? My own question is: when exactly are we as a people? When are we going to start? When are we going to start taking the blame for our own misfortunes and our own backward?
You see,
and we're going to start.
You see, and You see, and that's why I don't have. Then that's why I don't blame ABS for saying all that he said, because I used to think that way too. Because if people are still saying that the civil rights movement has not done what it needed to do, for me it's shocking. Because with the little amount of years I've been here, I can definitely tell you I'm not a second class citizen. And trust me, most of the black Americans I know, man, they're not second class citizens. And one thing I've realized is the black Americans that are trying to pave way for themselves. It's not as if they don't go through racism or anything like that. They get it done. This system makes sure
Yep.
that if you work hard and you pay your dues, you will get things done. A lot of black Americans and black people in general, they are sitting down on their laurels waiting for government or sky daddy to come and help them. That is the issue. That is the issue. You know, so, and also looking at APS question, this last comment, talking saying that his last comment. ABS, you are right. The wealth gap between white Americans and black Americans is large. But trust me, black Americans are not 4%ers. Trust me, they're not 4%ers. Black Americans have good ownership right now. And
Okay,
trust me, even
my dear brother.
black immigrants are coming to America and becoming owners. So yes, the wealth gap may be vast, but do not compare it with the white South Africans and black South Africans.
Okay, my
That's
bro.
just it.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, let me reply. ABS, brain, when I came to this country, do you want to know where I lived? I lived in the hood. Please, I walked in the hood, I lived in the hood, and I worked my way up. Bro, most people in the hood are waiting for the government. Most people in the hood, they are still under mental slavery. And I have friends who left the hood and they will tell you they're not going back. And trust me, it's not the white people holding people down in the hood. The people in the hood are holding themselves down. Please, bro, come on now. Don't let us just focus on African problem and forget about black America. Let's just focus on Africa problems.
Let's make it. ABS, thank you. Honestly, bro, I really wish you could join the conversation next time.
I swear, ABS should have joined us. This would have been a good conversation because honestly, he's making some points, but there are some things he needs to unlearn because those are parts of the indoctrination that they gave us.
ABS, you're among the middle class in the country. You need to go to the hood. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously.
Let's not go back there, brothers. Let's not go back there, man. Let's wrap this one up with this final clip. This is a clip from Buju Banton. I'm sure you all know who Buju Banton is. Famous reggae music legend. Let's call him a legend because to me, the guys that are legends in reggae music are guys from the generation of Joseph Hill, Culture, Bob Marley, guys like that. But I still respect Buju Banton. I respect him a lot. He had something to say about
and Buju Banton came from the Beanie Man era.
He's a generation after the Bob Marley and them.
Yeah.
He's still a legend, he's still a legend in his own right.
Yeah, he's a legend in his own right.
Respect to the legend Buju Banton. He said something about Afrobeat that got a lot of people in their feelings. Me, I know where I stand. I'll tell you where I stand, but let's pay attention. It's about 1 minute long.
In the struggle, and even though the struggle is hard, we're going to overcome. Tell me, the greatest musician out of Africa was Fela Kuti, Lucky Dube from South Africa. We have Keita, we have Youssou N'Dour, we have Baba Mal. Now, no one wanted to go beyond the pale of what those brothers was doing. I went to Africa in 1991 and I spent like 3 weeks constantly at the universities under baobab trees, in Kenya, educating people from Ghana, all over the continent about reggae music and dancehall. But I was happy when they came to their senses to realize that music is the bridge that's going to connect us. But what I was disappointed in, they didn't try to connect with Jamaica the Roots. They connect with everyone else except us.
You talking about Afrobeats?
Yes.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
So they connected with everyone else except us. But when we look at what they're doing, their music is not free in Africa. It's for cray.
My man said their music is not free in Africa. It's fuckery.
I didn't know what to
The
say.
music need to free Africa. If I am all the way in Jamaica and my country and my people fight for free your continent with word, sound, and power, and you have the ability now, and all you're singing is fuckery. You don't sing a song to free Africa all now. Well, need them bringing this to the forefront of your mind, but we desire more from them.
So let me just
I beg, make I clap for Buja, I beg. Make I clap for the guy, I beg. He spoke facts.
You know, these types of conversations gets people very emotional and illogical and irrational, because the first thing they heard is, oh, their Afrobeat music, it doesn't try to wake up Africa, and they react to that, even though at the same time, oh, god damn it.
Not that you did here.
Yeah, I'm here. Are you okay?
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah,
So okay.
sorry, 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. So when they listen to this type of music, their first inclination is to react, to be defensive. They want to defend their favorite musicians, the Wizkids, the Davidos, the Burna Boys. They want to defend them because they love and worship the money that those guys have. But this guy is saying the truth, because 90%, maybe more, of the music that is released under the Afrobeat genre of music is garbage. They are only singing about big bum bum. Oh, I have money. I have 55 girlfriends. I have money and you're broke. Kiss my ass. That's all they sing about. Meanwhile, let's keep it real. We have to be very, very honest and transparent. As far as reggae music is concerned, reggae music is the music for the soul. Salute to reggae music all day, every day. But when it comes to dance hall music is garbage. It's trash. It's like Afrobeat. So what do you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, I think one Emperor wants to go first, right? Is he there? One Emperor. So I don't know if I should go first.
Yeah, you can go.
So I'm gonna just go straight in here. Maybe my views can be seen as biased or something, but I'm not a huge fan of Buju Banton, because I think, just like most black people, he's a massive hypocrite. And you see, this hypocrisy of the black race is part of the reasons why we as a people, we can never move forward. And it's not a curse, or it's just a fact. Like, we are done in this life, in this existence that we are in right now. We are gone. This is somebody whose career, who built his entire career on reggae / dancehall. Because you see, when it comes to this reggae and dancehall and whatever it is that they sing in Caribbean, I'm going to be very straight honest. I don't care. I'm not interested. If I hear a nice tune, I don't care what brand of music it is. I dance. If a music connects to my soul, or if I'm able to connect to a music, I move my body, I dance, or I reflect on whatever the case with the music. But Buju Banton, on the other hand, built his entire career on reggae / dancehall, and he spent his career singing nonsense. This guy built his career singing, literally echoing violence, downgrading his own women, and threatening people, fighting, and being a nuisance, literally. Part of the reason why he is, he's seen as a legend today now is because, he's sort of slowed down, and he's not as volatile as he was back in the days. Like, you're talking about the era of like Ninja Man and all these crazy people. And now he's going to come out and start singing, and start talking about how the African music, or what's his name? How Afrobeat. Is this guy mad? Has he listened to Fela? Has he listened to?
No, he gave Fela props. In all fairness, in that interview,
that's Afrobeat, and it ends there. The people that are singing now, they are all Afro pop stars. They're not Afrobeat stars.
Exactly.
Buju Banton cannot come to the Afrobeat space or the African space and start trying to dictate to us, start trying to label our music. That's completely out of his league. Okay, the whole of the Caribbean islands joined together. It's not up to Africa. It's not up to even even West Africa, the entire all the dotted islands all over the coast, all over the Caribbean coast. Add all of them together. They are not up to South West Africa. Who the hell is Buju Banton to come to the Afrobeat must have an opinion? Is he mad? I don't care who the hell he is. Like Buju Banton has no say in this conversation. There are certain people who have been in that. If people like what's his name? People like
Damian Marley.
No, not even Damien. Well, maybe Damien. Damien can actually say something because I don't remember a time where Damien was. I can't remember any song where he was demeaning to his people and where he's
always conscious in his music.
Well, yeah, the man is a very conscious person. Yeah, maybe one or two times, but yeah, I can say Damien. Somebody like Damien can have an opinion, but even Damien himself, he's collaborated with lots of Afrobeat. As we are speaking right now, I'm pretty sure I can put my money on the fact that Damien is in the studio with a couple of Afrobeat stars now cooking up some tunes. So what is Buju doing? What's he doing? Nothing. He's not doing anything. All he's just doing is out there criticizing Afrobeat. What the hell do you know about Afrobeat? Have you listened to Fela? So you can't say you've listened to Fela and then you listen to Burna Boy and then you say you're looking for inspiration from Burna Boy. Are you mad? Like, does Burna Boy's music and Fela's music, do they sound alike? The instrumentals, the performance, do they sound alike? They don't.
Martinelli,
Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido, they are Afro pop stars. That is a niche. That is a niche branch of Afro beats that these guys they carved out from themselves. People like Two-Face, them Sound Sultan, and what do you call them? Someone like Idris. They did try. This were the generation of I'll call them the bridge generation. They tried to fuse Afrobeat and Afro pop together, but they didn't succeed, and that's why a lot of them didn't actually make money because they couldn't really connect with the people the way that Afrobeat connected with the people. But Afro pop has successfully done that because right now the people are not as conscious as they were back in the 70s and in the 80s. The level of consciousness of the black man has declined massively. We have declined, and even Buju Banton himself, even him talking, he should be able to say so as well, because how many conscious musicians, how many politically conscious music artists do we have all over the Caribbean island? Vibes Cartel.
Good. See, let me jump in. Everything Martinelli is saying is correct. Everything Buju Banton is saying is correct. But Buju Banton was the wrong person to say it.
Thank you.
He is the wrong person to say what he said. Buju Banton is not wrong, but he is the wrong person to say it. Why can't he not say that about Black American rappers? Buju Banton has done a lot of songs with them Black American rappers.
He was literally being interviewed by a Black American rapper.
Okay.
So that is the point. Why did you have to mention Africa? Afrobeat is not just Africa. Afrobeat is not just Africa.
Speaking about shooting up people and selling crack and selling
and also hold on. Before even Buju Banton, even before Buju Banton should even mention Africans not making empowering music, you should first go and talk to Elephant Man, Egyptian, Russian, and all others.
Address those people
Simple.
first, and then you start addressing
You're going to laugh with this one. You're going to laugh with this one. Maybe we can even end it on a lighter note. Top 10 Buju Banton songs of all time. Listen, I'm not trying to disrespect Buju Banton. I'll be very honest.
I'm
not a big fan.
Please. See, if he needs to be disrespecting, we will disrespect him because.
Thank you.
Bro, look at the first song.
Exactly. Imagine. His top song for all time, Batty Rider.
What?
And he's the one talking. You see, this is why you have to be careful of what you say in the social media space, because it will
This is
come
the
back to haunt you.
this
This
is
is
the
the
hypocrisy.
hypocrisy I speak
This is
about
the hypocrisy of the
black
black
people.
man.
This
Of
is
the
the
black
hypocrisy
man.
of the black man right here.
He spent his
Imagine
entire career
your
singing
number one
party
song
rider.
is Party Rider. Imagine.
Look at this madman. What is inspiring about all these songs? Wanna Be Loved,
Exactly.
A Little More Time. What is inspiring about all this nonsense? Like, what is inspiring? Who's been inspired by all this boogie dance, big it up? What's inspiring? What is inspiring about Buju's catalog? What
He
is
wants to
inspiring
put
about it?
himself. I'm just very happy that he gave respect to Fela. If not, that one I would have gone off the rails
No.
on him. The fact
If
that
he
he
had
shall put
disrespected
respect of
Fela,
Fela.
maybe his career would have been, maybe his feeble career would have been coming to
You
an
know,
end now, because
my problem.
I'm not even.
You know what? You know what? Let me just make this point again. Martinelli and African Wala. What Buju Bate said wasn't wrong. He's not the one to say it, and he needs to talk to Vibes Cartel and them boys before he even comes to come and face us Africans. Before he even face Africans, he needs to talk to Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, them before he even come and face us Africans. It's just as simple as that. And that's the problem, with what we've discussed in our private phone calls before. A lot of these guys, the pandering too much towards Africa is getting too much. The pandering is getting too much. Everybody wants to be African, but don't want to go through the average African man's problem. And
God
that's
bless
what
you.
Buju Banton just looks like to me right now.
Well, guys, thank you for
Yeah.
this great show. It's time to wrap this one up, man. I really appreciate this long conversation. Man, ABS
Yeah.
is still going ham in the
No,
comment section.
no. ABS I wish he could join us. ABS is dropping
I
some
genuinely wish
points.
ABS could join us. I genuinely
I
wish he could
know.
join us.
I
ABS,
do wish he could join
my
us.
bro, man. Let me text.
I,
I suspect this ABS is someone that I know. I suspect. So, I just texted him to confirm.
because this comment here is right. Yes, we still have some cautious black singers. Yes, we
No
do.
doubt.
I'm not
No
saying
doubt.
we don't.
No doubt.
We still have some
No doubt.
cautious black singers in general. We still have some cautious African singers, some cautious Black American singers, some cautious Caribbean singers. Yes, we still have them.
Yeah.
But
But even
they are not on the mainstream now. That's the problem.
yeah,
We're
and
not seeing them on the mainstream.
even then, just to let's. I think maybe we should end on this. The political consciousness that Buju Banton, if it was that financially lucrative, I'm sure he would have been the biggest politically conscious music artist on the planet. But
yes,
even he himself, he knows that being politically conscious in the music space is not financially profitable. He knows that, and that is why he's not that person. But he wants
he's
other
not
people,
that
and this
person
is the
to
problem
speak
he
on
has
it.
with we black. You want other people to be politically conscious, whereas you yourself, you're not in that space. And I'm going to give Burna Boy some credit. I'm going to give Whiskey, and give all these boys. These boys, whenever they needed to be, Burna Boy does. Occasionally, if you listen to his albums, he does speaks on the issues of the country. In some of his songs, he does, but it's not financially profitable. It's not.
And that's
the
why
people that
people
you're
cannot go the
the people
fella
that
route.
you understand, because even like Fela spent his entire career in and out of prison because he was a politically
Exactly.
conscious artist. And the people,
Exactly.
it took Fela's death for people to finally understand what he was actually singing about. It took him dying for people
Exactly.
it is only now that if Fela was still alive today, Fela would still be singing about the same thing he was singing about, and people would still be insulting him. Fela was getting
Straight
cursed
up.
left, right, center when he was alive. So what the fuck is Buju Banton talking about being politically conscious? Like, come on, like if it was so profitable, if it was that lucrative, all the artists in the Caribbean, in Jamaica today, they will all be politically conscious artists, but they are not, because the people who pays the piper, the person who pays the piper, they dictate the tune. And this is part of the reasons why I have problems with my black people. We don't have any institution. We don't have anything. We don't have record labels. We don't have nothing. We don't have distribution companies. We have nothing. We sing and then we take it to the European, and then they either distribute or don't distribute our music, and then we come and start complaining.
No.
So who are we?
It's not just that. Not only do we take our music or our movies to the Europeans will tell us to remove this, add that, cut this, add this,
that.
Exactly. Sing it like this. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then you want to come and be, and then when you see black people in the positions of actually getting these distribution companies, they don't. They don't, because they don't know how to do it, or they don't want to do it, or they don't want to be that person who does it. You know, we don't even distribute our music, for God's sake. We don't do anything. All we just do is just sing and dance. That's all. We don't distribute our music. And we've been in music business for how long? And not one single black distribution company. Like, is that not even a disgrace to the black race as a whole, that we can't even distribute our own music? And yet you want to talk about, we have to be politically conscious. How can you be politically conscious? How can you pass the messages that you should be passing if you don't have the medium to distribute music? We don't have anything. So, and this is why I say the black race is, I'm sorry, ladies, I know you guys don't like hearing this, but we are done. Okay, we just need to leave this world, go back to the afterlife, and go and reorganize and see if you can.
My guy said, "Go back to the afterlife."
Yeah, because we cannot do it. It's not in this world. We can't, as you can see. Every time we try to organize, they are always in our means.
Man, thank you so much for your opinion, good brother. Thank you so much. Let's just wrap it up.
Guys, I appreciate
yes, sir.
Yep.
Man, we've come up with some mad points today. Hey, guys, if you like this type of conversation, feel free to click on that like button, subscribe. We will be back. And next time you can join in the conversation as well. Thank you for joining us on the African Wahala. Peace.
Cheers, buddy.
Oh, look, South Africans and Nigerians are fighting. Oh, no, look.
They are still fighting.
Yeah, but let me see if I can turn it up. This nigga shit, man.
Hey guys, look at slaves fighting themselves.
I'm telling you, man. Like,
bro, we're still live.
We're still live, eh?
Sorry. Yeah, we're still live on YouTube.
Okay, one sec.
I'm saying it with my full chest. Nigerians are the kindest people. Nigerians will give you. Nigerians will root for you. Even when they know that they don't have anything to get. You guys don't have it in you.
They are thieves. That's why they took our $61 billion. They took it for free.
Okay, guys. Thank you for this one. Peace.